Box 13, with the star of Paramount Pictures, Alan Ladd, as Dan Holliday.
Hey, look, boss. Look at this. An ad in the Star Times out-of-town newspaper. Yeah.
Box 13, adventure wanted. We'll go any place, do anything. Well, this looks like the right answer, Tony.
Mm.
I think I'll write a letter to Box 13.
The letter was postmarked from a city in Nevada. It came airmail, special delivery to Box 13 and me. It sounded like a great chance to grab a change of scenery and maybe a little fun. Fun? Brother, how wrong could I be?
And now, back to Box 13 and Dan Holliday's newest adventure, Triple Cross.
Just run an advertisement in the Star Times, one that reads, Adventure wanted, will go any place, do anything, and see what you get. A lot of them can be interesting, like the one I listened to Susie read. The one that came airmail, special delivery from Nevada.
Enclosed is enough money to buy you a plane ticket to Los Meros. You want adventure? All right. Come to Los Meros, register at the Paradise Hotel. Wait in your room until you're contacted.
And that's all it says, Susie?
That's all, Mr. Holliday. There's not even a signature even. It's what's called an ominous letter.
What kind of a letter, Susie?
Ominous. That means it's not signed by anybody.
The word you mean is anonymous.
Oh.
But you could be right after all. Well, Susie, lock up the office and look for me when you see me with a new plot and a nice tan. A new plot and a nice tan, I said. I got the plot, but the tan almost turned into a beautiful white pallor, the kind that goes well with lilies. The plane trip was smooth. The trip from airport to the Paradise Hotel was nice and easy. And the hotel itself? Well, it was the only one I could remember that looked like the ads in the travel folders. Oddly enough, there was a room reserved for me in my name. Okay, somebody checked and found out who I was. I explored the suite, thinking maybe I'd get a lead on what this was all about, but it was just a fancy set of rooms, all newly decorated. I sat down, and then about a half hour later... Come in.
Message for you, Mr. Holliday.
Oh, thanks. Here you are.
Oh, thank you.
Just a minute. Who gave this to you?
A man, sir.
What kind of a man? What did he look like?
Oh, just a man, sir.
Oh, I see. A head, 2 eyes, nose, 2 ears, and a mouth. That his description?
Yes, sir, that's exactly what he looked like.
Good. Then I'll know him when I see him. Oh, did he ask for an answer?
No, sir. He just told me to bring the envelope to you. Will that be all, sir?
Huh? Oh, yes, thanks. Well, 2 $100 bills. And a message that said, buy a red carnation in the flower shop and put it in your lapel. After dinner, go to the casino roulette table, buy $200 in chips and put them on number 18. If you win, walk away, wait 10 minutes, and put half the winnings on number 22. After you play, wait in the casino. So with the carnation in my lapel, I bought $200 in chips and walked to the roulette table. There weren't many players. It was a little too early for the big crowd. So I waited a minute and watched the play. Took a look at the croupier, but I might as well have been in Timbuktu. He didn't give me a tumble. Okay, the best way to see what was going to happen was to see. I shoved the whole 200 on number 18. One or two of the other players placed bets, and then...
No more bets, please. No more bets. Number 18, red and even. Your chip, sir.
The croupier shoved the winnings across to me. I watched his face. If he had any expression, it was on the soles of his shoes. Well, maybe $7,000 win was coming around here. I left the table, sat down, and did a little problem in arithmetic, which figured out to be $126,000. That's what I'd have if number 22 came up. And, brother, it looked from where I sat as though it would. The 10 minutes went by, and I walked back to the table. Waited until the wheel stopped.
Number 16, red and even. Place your bets, please, ladies and gentlemen.
Slowly, I shoved 3,500 in chips to number 22. This time, the others around the wheel did lift. 3,500 at 35 to 1. When the wheel began to slow up.
No more bets, ladies and gentlemen. No more bets, please.
That croupier was as cold as the floor of a mausoleum. Somebody dropped a pin, and I heard it hit the floor. The white ball clicked, clicked its way until...
Number 22, black and even. Your chip, sir.
I cashed in the chips, and there I sat, with $126,000 tucked away in my inside coat pocket. Somebody had that wheel fixed for a killing. I began to wish I was back in my office. I didn't like it. A crooked play. Why? Who? I made up my mind to go to the owner of the place and wash my hands of the whole thing when...
Oh, there you are, Mr. Holliday. I've been looking for you. I have a message for you.
Yeah?
Well, it's verbal this time, Mr. Holliday.
Oh, what is it?
You're to go into the bar and wait.
Is that all?
Yes, sir.
The same man gave you this message?
Yes, sir.
Did he still have a head, 2 eyes, a nose, and 2 ears?
Yes, sir.
All right, here you are, kid.
Oh, thank you.
You know, if this keeps up much longer, you'll be able to retire on my tips alone.
Thank you, Mr. Holliday. Will that be all?
How much did this character give you to forget what he looked like?
Oh, nothing, sir. Nothing at all.
And a smart boy like you should have taken a good look the second time.
Huh?
Especially since I asked about him after the first message.
Oh, he was big, dark, a little mustache, and he had a little white scar over his right eye.
Will you take $5 for that information?
That's all right, Mr. Holliday. No charge for that service.
Good boy. I'll see you later.
Yes, sir, Mr. Holliday.
I walked toward the bar, wondering what was coming next. I didn't like that fortune burning the cloth in my pocket. The bar was like my suite. Fancy, rich, and expensive. I climbed up on one of the stools, and the bartender came over and...
Yes, sir. May I serve you, sir?
Got any ginger ale?
Yes, sir. What with, sir?
Oh, by itself. Just a glass of ginger ale.
Just a ginger ale?
Uh-huh. You see, I like the bubbles.
Champagne has bubbles, too.
But they're still around the next day. Just a ginger ale.
Yes, sir, of course.
Excuse me, is someone sitting here?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Thank you.
Here you are, sir. Ginger ale.
Thanks.
The usual, please.
Okay. Yes, sir. May I?
You got a light?
Of course.
Thank you.
Don't mention it.
Here you are.
Thanks. Why do you drink ginger ale?
I like it. Why do you drink martinis?
Same reason, I guess. It's a brilliant conversation, isn't it?
Well, I've heard better.
You're not very friendly, are you?
A Boy Scout is always friendly.
And does good turns. So I hear.
Do you want to be helped across the street?
All right, I'll shut up.
I took a good look at her. There was something scared-looking about her. She was nervous. Well, so was I, because the minutes were passing and I still had that money. And I wanted to get rid of it. But I wondered about the girl, whether she had any part in this. I watched her out of the corner of my eye. She picked up her bag, reached for a lipstick, and then...
Oh, clumsy.
So it's true what they say about women's handbags. You get the stuff on the bar, I'll pick up the kitchen sink off the floor.
I'm so sorry. Did the powder spill on you?
No, it's all right. Yeah. Here you are.
The mirror didn't break, did it?
Nope, you're still good for 7 years more.
Thanks. Thanks ever so much.
I told you I was a good Boy Scout.
You have a nice smile.
Want a toothpaste commercial to go with it?
Now, don't be nasty.
I'm sorry. I guess I'm just as nervous as you are.
Let's talk about something else.
She chattered away, and
It really is
I
a
listened
lovely
with half
place,
an ear.
isn't it?
Once in a while, threw in a yes or a no,
So
and the clouds began to gather. The mirror at the back of the bar went back and forth. The people got bigger, then shrank to midgets. Somebody drove a plane through my head. It buzzed around and made a bad landing on my brain, then... Oh.
There you are. Feeling better now?
Oh,
You'll be all right. Just lie there, take it easy.
sure, Hey, I'm in my room.
Of course. We brought you here.
We?
I'm the hotel physician, Mr. Holliday.
Oh, what happened?
And just a fainting spell, nothing serious.
Fainting spell? What are you talking about?
Fainting spells. Your wife told me you get them.
My what told you what?
No. Just lie back.
Whose wife said what?
Well, your wife. She's got to have a prescription filled.
Now, listen, Doc, hand me my coat, will you?
It's better if you lie here.
It's better if you hand me my coat. Give it to me.
Oh, very well. There you are. What's the matter?
Was my wife in this room?
Of course, she came up with me.
Uh-huh. Doc, what would you do with $126,000?
What? 100? That's an odd question. What would you do with it?
I don't know. Because I haven't got it anymore.
Now, back to Triple Cross, another Box 13 adventure with Alan Ladd as Dan Holliday.
So there I was, 126,000 in the red. If it was meant to be taken from me, then somebody was working it the hard way. Sure, the girl slipped something in my ginger ale when I picked up the stuff that fell out of her handbag. She took the money. All right, I wanted no more of it. I was going to head for the nearest exit, running, not walking, when... Come in.
You Holliday?
Yeah. Do I know you?
Call me Tony. I'm the guy who wrote the Box 13.
Oh. All right, goodbye, Tony.
Sit down.
What's the idea?
Funny, I was going to ask you that.
If we're playing 20 questions, let's skip the other 18, Tony.
I got a big one left. Where's the dough?
You tell me.
Give it to me.
Well, I didn't like him. I didn't like the gun he was playing with either. And I didn't like the little white scar over his right eye or the little black mustache. I was willing right then and there to cross him off my friendship list. But I told him what happened.
It's a great story. Ain't heard one like it since I read fairy tales.
Well, I don't care if you believe it or not.
You got no regard for your health, Holliday.
Look, Tony, I'm leaving this place
You'll
now.
be too heavy to carry out if you take one more step. That's better. Now, what kind of a frame is this?
Once more, you tell me. I played a crooked wheel downstairs. I don't like that.
You got adventure, didn't you?
I don't want anything that's crooked.
Look who's talking. Who was the girl?
Believe it or not, I never saw her before.
What did she look like?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Ever try to take a good look at anyone in that bar downstairs? It's too dark to even see a lighted match.
You're smart, Holliday. The game with the girl is neat. Awful neat. You get the dough, play doggo. Act like the girl slipped you Mickey. Later she turns up with the dough and you two split.
Now talk sense, Tony. I didn't know why I came to Los Morris in the first place. I didn't know how I was going to get that money. How would I have time to dream up that frame with the girl?
Yeah. Yeah, I never thought of that. Okay, Holliday, maybe you're telling it straight.
Okay. Now can I go?
No. You get that money back first, then you can go.
I don't think I'll stay for the ninth inning, Tony.
The game has not started yet, Bud. You get that dough.
How?
That's your problem, but get it.
Look, Tony, I'm backing out of this. You know, I can go to the sheriff.
No, you won't. Because there'll be a tail on you from now on out. One move like you're going to the law. Understand?
Okay, I get it.
And there'll be somebody in this room to see that you don't use the phone. You'll be covered like a pool table, Holliday.
What if I can't find the girl? What if I can't get the money back?
The boss will be awful mad.
And?
There are worse places than Los Morros to spend a lifetime. If you live.
Ever have one of those dreams in which you try to run away from something and can't? Well, this one, with my eyes wide open, was really something. Tony and I went downstairs. Two other characters detached themselves from chairs when Tony nodded at them. Brother, I was covered. It looked hopeless. With Tony not far behind, I asked the doctor if he'd ever seen the girl who said she was my wife. Well, there was no dice there. Then I remembered something. I told Tony I was going back into the bar.
Bar? What for?
Now, look, Tony, let me do it my way. I'm the one that's on the spot, so let me play it the way I want.
Okay. I'll watch, and don't try for a quick steal, because the boys outside know who to look for. Go ahead.
Thanks. What would I do without you, Tony?
I don't know, because you're not going to be without me. Remember, I'll be watching.
Yes, sir. May I serve you? Well, feeling better, sir?
Well, much. Where were you when I fainted?
At the other end of the bar, sir.
Oh, yeah. So you were.
It wasn't our ginger ale, sir.
No, it wasn't. I just have a loose head, and when I shake it, it comes off.
May I serve you something, sir?
Yes. An answer to a question.
Well, what's that, sir?
Who was the girl who sat down next to me?
I don't know, sir.
Oh, yes, you do.
I beg your pardon, sir.
Quit the sir business. You knew that girl.
Why do you say that?
Because when she sat down, she asked for the usual, and you brought her a martini. And you said okay when she asked you.
What does that prove?
The martini proves you knew who she was. The okay means she wasn't a guest of the hotel. No bartender as polite as you are would say okay to a lady guest. That makes sense?
Why do you want to know who she is?
Does that make any difference?
Yeah, because I wouldn't want to see her in trouble.
I'll try to keep her out of it.
I won't tell you.
Ever see a picture of Alexander Hamilton?
What are you talking about?
Well, here's one. And funny enough, it's on a $10 bill. In fact, his picture's on all 5 of these bills.
Yeah. Her name's Kathy Lee. I think she has a place at the Las Palmas courts.
Thanks. Put these pictures in frames, will you? I found the Las Palmas courts. And, of course, Tony behind me all the way. The name list in front said Kathy Lee lived in number 8. I looked around before I turned in the walk. Yeah, Tony was closer to me than varnish on a tabletop. I found number 8 and stopped for a second. Looked for a phone line, but there wasn't any. I knocked at the door. No answer. I tried it again. Then I heard Tony whisper from the shadows.
Try the door, Holliday.
I did. It was unlocked. Tony coached from the sidelines.
Go on in.
I went in and closed the door behind me. It was dark. I decided to risk a call. Kathy? Kathy? Kathy Lee? She wasn't there. I fumbled my way to what felt like a dresser and a lamp. Turned it on, and what I saw made me turn that light off fast.
What's the matter?
She's dead.
What are you talking about?
You heard me. She's dead.
You sure?
Well, go in and look.
You go back in and look for that dope. Go on.
Now, look, Tony, I don't know any more of this. That poor kid's dead, murdered. I want you to call the sheriff.
No, you don't. I said you go back in there and look for that dough.
You look for it.
Leave my fingerprints all over the place. Now you go back in there and hunt.
Don't be a sap. Whoever killed her took the money. Don't you see that?
Maybe. But we'll play this angle all the way. Now stop talking and get in there.
I hated to turn on that light, but I had to. I didn't look at her. I looked through the room. Then I found something. A plane ticket to San Francisco, leaving that night, and a boat ticket for South America. They were in an envelope, but the information on the envelope said there would be 2 reservations. I put it back where I found it because I didn't want Tony to find it on me. And there was something else. A locket with a man's picture in it. I took it off his chain and shoved it in my pocket, and I left.
Well, Holliday?
It's not there. I told you it wouldn't be.
Stand still. Back toward me.
A frisk, Tony? You don't trust me, do you?
Shut up.
No, I told you.
Who killed her?
Find that out, and you'll know where the money went.
Come on.
What's so funny?
Holliday, right now I wouldn't want to be in your shoes.
Tony was right. People at the casino saw me win that money, and somebody must have seen the girl with me. Then I got the Mickey. The money was taken, the girl killed. Who did it? Me, Dan Holliday. Because the girl clipped me for the money. Well, this was a beautiful frame. Any art gallery in the country would be proud to hang it. But I knew something Tony didn't. The plane and boat tickets. 2 seats. One for Kathy and her murderer. Somebody who left her tickets in her bungalow to make it look as though she was in on the $100,000 job by herself. Sure. Now her killer was taking a plane. In 1 hour. In a boat to South America. I could have told Tony, but I wanted to wrap it up myself. Besides, I wanted to get the whole thing to the law. On the way back to the hotel, I figured something out for myself. But I'd have to see the boss of the casino, and I thought I knew how to do that without Tony tagging along. The casino was full. I stopped. Tony stopped.
What's the idea? What now?
I've got to think.
Up to your room.
No.
You want to get hurt?
Sure, go ahead. Shoot me. Now. In front of all these people. You know, Tony, you wouldn't get 10 feet.
Smart, ain't you? Okay, what's now?
I'm going to play blackjack.
What?
Want to watch? I sat at the blackjack table. I had as much interest in the game as Aunt Mamie back in Iowa, who never saw a deck of cards in her life. But I had an idea, and I played it for all it was worth. Look, dealer,
Yes?
I didn't like that last deal.
I beg your pardon, sir.
I said I didn't like that last deal.
Well, return your money, sir.
Never mind the money. Who runs this place?
is that guy trying to... What's going on over there?
It worked. In 3 seconds, I was surrounded by muscle boys, and Tony was hotter than a New York sidewalk in August. But he couldn't touch me. A minute later, I sat across the table from the owner of the casino. I told him what happened, and when I finished, he stared at me and said,
You're trying to tell me somebody let you win that money on my wheel?
I am?
You're crazy. The wheel's straight.
But you know I won that money.
Sure I do. Anytime 100 grand slides across, I know it. But,
But this time it was fixed. The croupier was tipped I was to win.
wait a minute. Marty, send Frankie up here right away. Huh? Oh. Okay, forget it.
What's the matter?
Frankie, the croupier, went off duty just after you won. He's not back yet.
And he won't come back. Now, somebody planned to take the house this evening for that money. Somebody who couldn't risk getting it himself. So I'm the logical one. No one knows me here. I'd look like just another player. Later, Mr. Fix-It plans to pick up the money and beat it. Who? Someone besides yourself who could get to the croupier and bribe him to fix the wheel. Got any ideas?
Yeah. One. My partner.
Well, that's it, then. It's got to be.
But the girl, she doped you. That was a hard way to get the money from you.
Listen, I've got an idea, but I'm a little cramped for room. Some of your partner's boys, particularly a guy named Tony, are glued to me. Get some of your boys to shake them off, and I'll bring that money back to you.
How do you know where it is?
I know.
Okay, Holliday. But remember, fast play, and I'll find you if it takes the rest of my life.
It's a deal. Now, how about the boys?
They won't follow you. Marty, that guy will leave my office. Some mugs are tailing him. Stop him. Got it? Good. All right, Holliday, you're on first base. Go ahead.
I was sure he'd be at the airport, and I wasn't wrong. He was sitting in the shadows on the outside. I walked over to him, and he looked up.
Holliday, I thought you would be...
Thought I'd be framed, huh, Frankie?
What are you doing here?
I've got a message from Kathy Lee.
Kathy. She's...
You ought to know you killed her.
Ah, you're crazy.
Not only that, you've got $126,000 in that bag. $126,000 that looked like easy money.
Shut up.
That money doesn't mean a thing. It's the girl who counts, the girl who was willing to do what you told her to do. The girl you triple-crossed and killed after you double-crossed your boss who bribed you to fix the wheel.
It's too bad you're so smart, Holliday.
It's too bad you led with that right, Frankie. Somebody call the police to come and clean this up.
The croupier was... Oh, please hurry, Mr. Holliday. I want to hear the ending.
All right, Susie, all right. What do you want to know?
Well, how did you guess that Kathy Lee was the croupier's girl?
Well, her locket had his picture in it.
Oh, they should have given you the money as a reward.
No, thanks, Susie. They can have it.
But there's one thing I don't understand, Mr. Holliday.
And that's?
You didn't get a tan at all. You're just as pale as when you left.
Oh, $126,000. A murder and a tan, too, she wants. Good night, Susie.
Next week, same time, Alan Ladd stars as Dan Holliday in Box 13. Alan Ladd appears through the courtesy of Paramount Pictures. Watch for him in his new picture, Saigon. Box 13 is directed by Richard Sandville, with original story by Russell Hughes, and original music composed and conducted by Rudy Schrager. The part of Susie is played by Sylvia Picker. Production supervision is by Vern Karstensen. This is a Mayfair production. Box 13, with the star of Paramount Pictures, Alan Ladd, as Dan Holliday.
To Box 13, care of the Star Times. I am desperately in danger, I'm sure. I'm afraid to go to the police right now. So if you'll really go anyplace and do anything like your ad says.
If you really go any place and do anything like your ad says, please meet me tomorrow at 6 in the evening at the corner of Gateway and Lakeview Boulevards. Constance McLean. You didn't know it then, but this was one time, Holliday, you had your work cut out for you.
And now, back to Box 13 and Dan Holliday's newest adventure.
I guess I was asking for it when I put that ad in the Star Times. But I wasn't asking for what happened this time, and I don't want it again. You see, it was, well, might as well start from the beginning, and Susie saying...
Constance McLean. That's a pretty name, Mr. Holliday.
Well, what do you make of the letter, Susie?
Make of it? Well, what do you mean?
Well, take this line. I'm desperately in danger, I'm sure.
What about it?
No, it sounds like something from an old melodrama.
But it's thrilling. Maybe she is desperately in danger, Mr. Holliday. Why don't you find out?
You think I should, huh?
Sure. You'll be just like one of the old knight irritants.
Knights errant, Susie.
What's the difference? They both hunted for trouble, didn't they?
Well, what's good enough for a knight errant is good enough for me. I'm sorry I can't oblige you by dashing off on a white charger and wearing a tin suit. But so long anyway, Susie. The intersection of Gateway and Lakeview Boulevards was in the fashionable suburb of the city. The kind of a neighborhood where money is the root of the most important family trees. I looked at my watch. It was 6 exactly. Then I heard someone coming. I waited. It was about dark. The shadows of the trees kept me from seeing who it was whispering. But a couple of seconds later...
Hello.
Oh, good evening. You're, Constance McLean?
Oh, no. No, my name's Barbara Rodney. Constance is over there.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm Box 13.
Uh-huh.
Well, what's the matter?
You're different
From what?
from what we thought.
You mean to tell me you got me all the way out here to see what I look like?
Oh, no, not at all, Mr. 13. I mean, well, what is your name?
Dan Holliday.
Oh, that's nice. Wait a minute. Come on, honey. He's really nice. Kind of scared. Oh, come on. He's right up here. Mr. Holliday, this is Constance. Connie? How do you do?
How are you? She stared at me, and I stared back. She was about 17. Not pretty, but kind of a hungry face and eyes. I smiled at her, and she smiled back.
It's awfully nice of you to come, Mr. Holliday.
Well, not at all. I think anyone would come on the strength of your letter, Connie.
Can we go someplace and talk? I mean, we can't stand here on the corner, can we?
We could, but sitting would be better. What do you suggest?
How about Smudgy Mary's?
I beg your pardon?
Well, Connie means Smudgy Mary's place.
Oh, I thought for a moment you said Smudgy Mary's.
We can sit down there. They have tables, and we can talk. I've got to talk to you, Mr. Holliday.
Just a minute, Connie. What kind of a place is this Smudgy Mary's?
It's nice.
They serve ice cream and sundaes and malts.
Oh, well, swell. Let's go. Is it within walking distance, or do we go in my car?
We can walk, can't we, Connie?
Well, if you think it's safe for me.
Safe? What's the matter?
We'll go in your car, Mr. Holliday.
On the way to Smudgy Mary's, I tried to draw Connie out, but she was determined to wait until we got to that paradise of ice cream and malts. The two kids chattered away, and I gathered they both went to a fashionable and ultra finishing school in the neighborhood. Then I found myself in Smudgy Mary's. Kids were all over. Nice-looking kids. And the usual jukebox. Connie and Barbara guided me to a table in the back, and we sat down.
What'll you have, Mr. Holliday?
What's the specialty of Smudgy Mary's?
You want one?
If you do, Connie.
No, I don't think so. Just a lemonade.
Barbara?
A double malt with chocolate ice cream and whipped cream on top. I'll go over and tell Mary. We call her Smudgy because she's always got a smudge on her nose. I'll be right back.
All right, Connie. Want to talk now?
Here, you read this.
She took a crumpled piece of paper from her handbag, shoved it across the table to me. I opened it. There was a message that read, "If you don't get $1,000 from your parents, they'll never see you again." The letters were cut from magazine and newspaper print. I read it twice, then asked, "How did you get this, Connie?"
It came to the school for me.
When?
Yesterday, just before I wrote the letter to you, Mr. Holliday.
Who knows about this?
Just Barbara. She's my best friend. Now you.
All right, Connie. As soon as we leave here, we're going to the police.
Oh, no, please. Please, Mr. Holliday, we mustn't.
Why not?
Oh, if I did, well, Mother would have to know.
Don't you think she should?
No, she mustn't.
Why not?
Well, she isn't well, Mr. Holliday. With something like this, it'd make her worse.
But this is very serious, Connie.
Then you help me.
Now, look, Connie. You're not helping other girls who may be in your position someday. Let the person who wrote this get away with it this time, and he'll try it again.
Mr. Holliday, if you go to the police, I'll kill myself.
I stared hard at her. Her face was more hungry than ever, and her eyes were scared. Then Barbara came back with the orders.
Here we are. I brought you a specialty, Mr. Holliday.
Thanks, Barbara.
Babs, Mr. Holliday wants to go to the police.
Sit down, Barbara.
Yes, sir.
Now, Connie, have you anything else to tell me?
Today someone called me on the phone. It was a man's voice. He said I should have the money by the day after tomorrow or I'd be sorry.
That's right, Mr. Holliday. I was there when the man called.
Did you recognize his voice, Connie?
No, I never heard it before, I'm sure. It had kind of an accent.
Do you know anyone that speaks like that?
No, I said I didn't recognize him.
Where are your father and mother?
They're away.
Where?
In Michigan.
For how long?
They'll be gone about 2 months.
I see. This man said you'd have to get the money by the day after tomorrow. Is that right?
Yes. Oh, Mr. Holliday, I'm scared.
Why are you afraid to go to the police, Connie?
I'm afraid what will happen if I do.
To you?
Yes, to me.
Yes, she was scared, all right. She didn't touch her lemonade, and I couldn't touch the specialty of the house. You see, I wanted to be alive the next day. A little while later, we left Smudgy Mary's. We didn't say much. Connie, because she was scared. Barbara, because she was scared. And I, because, well, I had an idea. It was after 8 when we pulled up in front of the school where they lived in the dormitory. Connie and Barbara got out of the car.
What should I do, Mr. Holliday?
You sure that man said day after tomorrow?
Oh, yes, I know he did.
All right, Connie, I'll do what I can.
You'll help her, Mr. Holliday?
Of course I will, Barbara. Now, you two run along. I'll wait till you get inside. Go on now.
I don't know how to thank you.
Don't try. Just take it easy and don't worry.
All right. Good night, Mr. Holliday.
Good night, Connie. Barbara.
Good night.
I watched them until they went in. I was about to close the car door and drive away when...
Holliday! Oh, Mr. Holliday!
That was Connie. It didn't take long to cover the distance to the dormitory entrance. Connie! Barbara!
Mr. Holliday, look, it was under my door. This.
Another letter. Give it to me quick.
Oh, here comes Miss Ogilvy. She's head mistress. Oh,
Please, Mr. Holliday, don't show her that letter. Please, don't tell.
I don't know why I stuck that letter in my pocket. Maybe it was Connie's face. Absolute terror on it. But I rammed the letter in my pocket just as...
And what does this mean?
Please, Miss Ogilvy.
And, sir, who are you?
She looked at me, and I remembered my fifth-grade school teacher. The one who didn't like me. I looked at Connie. There was a desperate, please-don't-tell look on her face. Barbara was as white as a sheet. I decided to be hung for a sheep as well as a lamb, Miss Ogilvy repeated.
Well, sir, if you please. Girls, into your rooms.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm waiting, sir.
I'm in the wrong house.
Really? And for which house were you looking?
The Smiths.
Really? Where do they live?
Not here, I guess.
I hope you have an explanation.
Well, I'm afraid I don't. All right, I'm waiting for a streetcar. Will that do?
May I have your name?
If you just forget all about this, I'll go quietly home and lie down for a while.
I'm afraid I shall have to ask you to stay.
That's very kind of you, Miss Ogilvy, but I have a previous engagement.
If you try to leave, I shall ring the alarm and the caretakers will stop you.
All right. What do you want me to do?
Nothing. But I'm going to call the police.
All right, Holliday. All right. You were in the wrong house. Why?
I told you, Kling, I made a mistake.
Couldn't you tell a girls' school from a private home? Besides, there's no one in the neighborhood named Smith.
How do you like that? 3,000 Smiths in that phone directory, and I picked the wrong neighborhood.
You should have worn a ribbon in your hair, but nobody would have noticed you.
Thanks, dear. You're pretty, too.
Listen, Miss Ogilvy preferred charges, trespassing, and a dozen other counts. She can make them stick.
Kling, what if I said I had a good reason for being there, but I couldn't tell what it was? What would you say?
The same thing I said 2 hours ago. Why?
I can't tell you. I promised.
All right, you'll spend the night in the jug.
Unless I put up bail, which I'll do. I could have told Kling, but I kept thinking about Connie. Maybe I believed her when she said she'd kill herself if I told the police. Anyway, I kept the whole thing to myself. The next morning, I went over the second letter she'd received. It read, "You have one more day to get the money from your parents." One more day. That meant today, and that was all. I did a lot of thinking, and it added up to something very, very strange. I was thinking about it when the phone rang, and Susie answered it.
Hello? Yes, just a minute. Mr. Holliday, Lieutenant Kling wants to talk to you.
Oh? Okay, Susie, thanks. Hello? Yeah? What? When did you hear that? Okay, I'll be right over.
Mr. Holliday, what's the matter? You look scared.
I am, Susie. Maybe I've made a mistake. Connie McLean's disappeared.
Now back to Damsel in Distress, another Box 13 adventure with Alan Ladd as Dan Holliday.
Kling and I drove out to the school. He pounded at me to find out what I knew. I told him about the letter then. I had to. He was mad. I guess he had a right to be. At the school, we sat across from Miss Ogilvy and Barbara Rodney.
All right, Miss Ogilvy. Let's hear what happened.
Barbara, please tell us what you know.
Well, I woke up this morning. Connie and I have the same room.
We know that, Barbara.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I looked across to Connie's bed. She wasn't there.
What time was this, Barbara?
When I woke up, about 7:30.
And you looked everywhere for her?
Oh, yes, Miss Ogilvy.
What makes you think Connie disappeared?
Constance has never been tardy for a class, Mr. Holliday. And I might ask what you know about this. Your actions last
Barbara,
night were
will you
not...
leave, please? I'll talk to you later.
Hey, Holliday, what's the idea?
Please, Kling, I want to learn something.
Is it all right, Miss Ogleby?
I suppose so.
I'll be in my room.
Now, Mr. Holliday?
Shh. Kling, tiptoe to the door. See if she's there.
Huh?
Please.
Okay.
Oh, I'm going. I'll be in my room.
Well, that's strange. I never suspected Barbara would do a thing like that.
What's on your so-called mind, Holliday?
Some questions? Miss Ogleby, do you know if Connie had many dates?
Dates?
Yes. Parties, dances.
No, she didn't. Why?
How about Barbara?
Yes,
They're very close to each other, aren't they?
inseparable. But what is this leading to?
I don't know yet. Now about Connie's mother and father.
Yes?
Do they come to see her often?
Not very. They do a great deal of traveling.
Uh-huh. Thanks, Miss Ogleby.
Now, Holliday, you through playing games?
No, not yet. Miss Ogleby, isn't there some sort of dance coming up soon? I think I saw a notice on the bulletin board as I came through.
Yes, next week. But really, I don't see how questions like these are going to find Constance.
Oh, Kling.
Yeah. What now? You going to ask me to the dance?
Look, Kling, I'll get Connie back here, and no one will know anything's happened if Miss Ogleby will agree not to press the charges against me for last night.
What?
Miss Ogleby, you know it wouldn't be good for the school if this got in the papers, would it?
Not at all.
Oh, great. The poor kid's disappeared. She got those letters, and you're worrying about the school.
The letters gave her until tomorrow to get the money. All right, I've got all day. But I want to do this my way. Believe me, it's for Connie's sake. Well?
Very well. I agree.
All right with you, Kling?
Oh, it has to be.
Good. If I'm not back in 12 hours, bury me anyway. I was playing a hunch all the way to the finish line. If it worked, okay. If it didn't, then Dan Holliday was cooked like a hot dog at a barbecue. I had a couple of stops to make. The first one was at the Star-Times. There I asked Mona, the society editor, a few questions.
The McLeans? Are they the ones, Dan?
Uh-huh. They got a daughter, Constance.
That's right. And 100 million or so.
Where are they now?
I can't tell offhand, but wait a minute. Back file should tell. The Riviera, not here. Nice, not here. Monte Carlo, not here.
Mona, please drop the opera glasses and get to the McLeans.
All right, Danny boy. Let's see. Here we are. Mr. and Mrs. Randolph McLean have left for an extended vacation in Florida.
Florida? You sure that's not Michigan?
Well, if it is, the Florida Chamber of Commerce is going to be awful mad.
Did they return yet?
No.
You sure?
Of course I'm sure. That's my job here, remember?
Okay, Mona, thanks. I'll remember you at Christmas.
Once a year is all I ask. So long.
There was another stop to make. And strange as it may seem, it was to see a psychiatrist. Well, what he told me checked, but good. Then I made one more visit, this time to a telegraph office. I sent a wire to Connie's parents to charter a plane and come home at once. When that was done, I was all set except for one more little item. A long talk with Barbara. I got Miss Ogilvy's permission to take Barbara for a drive in my car.
But, Mr. Holliday, why do you want to talk to me?
Oh, maybe I just like to, Barbara.
Where are we going?
Is Smudgy Mary's open in the afternoon now?
Yes.
Okay. Let's you and I drop in for a lemonade or a malt. How about it?
Well, I've really got to get back to school.
Miss Ogilvy said it was all right for you to come with me.
Oh.
You didn't hear Connie leave the room this morning, did you?
No, I didn't.
And you're sure you looked all over for her?
Oh, yes, everywhere.
Uh-huh. Well, here's Smudgy Mary's. You know, Barbara, a diet like this will ruin my health. But come on.
All right.
Well, practically deserted. Is that Smudgy Mary?
Yes, that's she.
Mm-hmm. 2 specials, Mary, please.
Oh, really, Mr. Holliday, I don't think I can eat
Let's
any...
try the jukebox. Any particular number you'd like?
No. Anyone's all right.
Okay. Come on, we'll take this table over here.
What do you want to talk about?
Connie,
What about her?
come on, Barbara. Why don't you tell me where she is?
Well, because I don't know. I'll bet she's been kidnapped. Those awful letters. They said that if
Those letters wouldn't have fooled a baby, Barbara. No kidnapper is going to ask for $1,000, not when the parents are worth millions.
Well, maybe he was scared.
Could be. But that second letter under the door last night, the kidnapper put it there?
Well, he must have.
Mm-hmm. Well, how did he get in?
Well, I guess he sneaked in.
Barbara, no kidnapper goes around in brightly lighted halls shoving threatening letters under doors.
I don't know where she is.
Barbara, please tell me.
You won't tell anyone, will you, Mr. Holliday, please?
I'm afraid I'll have to, Barbara. But maybe everything will come out all right. Now we'll save those smudgy Mary specials until later. Right now, we're going to pick up Connie. How about it?
All right, Mr. Holliday.
Barbara and I drove out into the country and up where the lake sits in the hills. There were a lot of cabins around. Barbara directed me to one, and I stopped the car. This it, Barbara?
Yes.
You wait here. I walked up the path, up the porch stairs. Tried the door. It was unlocked.
Who? Mr. Holliday.
Hello, Connie. How are you? It's all right now, Connie. It's all right. Come on. We'll get back to town. Sure, everything was all right. I drove the two girls back into town. They didn't say a word. I dropped them at the school and then had a long talk with Miss Ogilvy. It was later that night when Lieutenant Kling and I walked into the McLean home. Mr. and Mrs. McLean had called from the airport. They said they'd be home in a few minutes. Connie and Barbara were upstairs. Miss Ogilvy, Kling, and I sat in the big living room.
All right, Holliday. How about the plot? Going to get with it?
I think we'll wait for the McLeans, huh?
There won't be anything in the papers, will there?
That depends on Lieutenant Kling, Miss Ogilvy.
Why me? Listen, I still don't know who pulled the snatch.
Kling?
Oh, I beg your pardon, Miss Ogilvy. What I mean
By
is...
snatch, you mean kidnapping.
Yeah, that's right. You talk English.
Oh, that'll be the McLeans. Miss Ogilvy, would you mind getting the girls down here?
Certainly, Mr. Holliday.
Connie,
Where's my daughter? Where is she?
Mr. McLean, my name is Holliday. I sent you and your wife that wire this morning.
Where is she? Is she all right?
Yeah, she's all right. She's coming down to...
Connie. Oh, darling. Oh, darling,
Oh,
it's so
Mr.
good to
Holliday,
see
we're
you.
so
I was
grateful.
worried. Let me
I
look
can't
at
tell you
you.
how much.
We'll see. Connie,
Yes, Mr. Holliday.
would you and Barbara wait outside? We'll only be a minute in here.
Yes, sir. Come on, Barbara.
Who did it? Who kidnapped her?
You did. You and your wife.
What?
Mr. Holliday.
What are you talking about?
You're insane.
No, I'm not. Now, listen to me. You have a daughter, but no one would ever know it. How often do you see her?
Now, see here, Mr. Holliday.
About once a year, you put her in a school and forget about her. Except when you think something's happened.
Holliday, you can't talk to me
I'm not
like
finished, Mr. McLean. That kid's lonely. And because she's, well, maybe you call it plain, she doesn't go out very much. Not many dates.
I don't see what this is all about.
You see, I talked with a psychiatrist today. Used a lot of fancy words, but they boil down to this. Connie wants and needs attention and affection desperately. She didn't get them here, so she thought of this scheme. Pretend to be kidnapped, get attention called to herself. Then she'd come back with a story. She'd be in the limelight. And Barbara helped her because she's her best friend.
Now, wait a minute, Holliday. We'd have torn holes in her story. She wouldn't have gotten away with it.
I know, that's why I didn't tell you right away. That's why I wanted to handle it my way. If this had gone to the police, the whole thing would have blown up for Connie. There'd have been a newspaper story, ridicule for the girl. But this way, well, let's give Connie a break. And Barbara. How about it, Kling?
Sure, I'm willing.
Oh, thanks, Kling. You're a gentleman and a scholar.
I'm a soft-hearted cop.
Mr. Holliday,
Yes, Mr. McLean?
I guess my wife and I didn't realize how selfish we really were. We thought we were giving Connie all she ever wanted.
Yes, all but one thing. The one that really mattered. affection.
Well, I want to thank you and Lieutenant Kling. And, well, now I think I'll start what should have been started years ago.
Sure. But you've got lots of time. Mind if I cut in first?
What do you mean?
You can start tomorrow. Meanwhile, I think I'll play this all the way, huh?
What are you up to now, Holliday?
Practice what you preach, I always say. Connie. Oh, Connie.
Yes, Mr. Holliday?
Everything's all right in there. Nothing to worry about. For you either, Barbara.
Oh, you're wonderful, Mr. Holliday.
Oh, Barbara. Will you excuse Connie and me for a moment?
Huh? Oh, well, sure. Well, I'll be upstairs, Connie.
Connie, about that dance. Got a date for it?
Oh, sure I have.
Connie?
Well, no, I haven't.
Well, look, I'm just a little older than you are, and when I comb my hair and put on a tuxedo, I look like I've been in the stag line a bit too long, but do I get the date?
You? Honest?
We'll make a night of it. First the dance, then, even if it kills me, Smudgy Mary's for a special.
Did you have a good time at the dance, Mr. Holliday?
I was the belle of the ball, Susie. Everybody cut in on me to dance with Connie.
Uh-huh. But you didn't tell me one thing, Mr. Holliday.
What's that, Susie?
What's a Smudgy Mary special?
Oh, well, 3 scoops of chocolate ice cream, 3 strawberry, 2 vanilla.
Oh.
Slice 4 bananas and embalm them in pineapple syrup and lay them out neatly alongside the ice cream.
Pineapple, strawberry.
Let's see now. Oh, pour on 2 ladles of chocolate syrup, a huge gob of whipped cream.
Mr. Holliday,
Wait a minute. Then sprinkle with nuts with a few bits of shells left in and what's the matter, Susie?
I ate an awful big lunch. Good night, Mr. Holliday.
Alan Ladd appears through the courtesy of Paramount Pictures. Watch for him in his latest picture, Saigon. Box 13 is directed by Richard Sandville, with original story by Russell Hughes and original music composed and conducted by Rudy Schrager. The part of Susie is played by Sylvia Picker, and that of Lieutenant Kling by Edmund McDonald. Production is supervised by Vern Karstensen. This is a Mayfair production from Hollywood.